So my brother LS-2125 is starting to make some kind of scratchy noises. Feeling that I need to clean it and oil it, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So first of all, I referred to the manual that is online. It's important to note that whatever machine you have, you can usually find the manual online. This is the first thing that I went to, and it showed oiling. So it tells me how to do that, and then there is a diagram, and then cleaning and this diagram. That's what I'm going to be referring to. Unplug your machine first. You're going to want to remove the needle. You can do this by undoing that little screw with like a coin or a screwdriver. I do have a video all about removing the needle. I'll link that. Then do this little lever to take that foot off. And then you're going to be removing the screws from the faceplate. This can also be done with a coin or with a very small screwdriver. And then remove those screws and remove the faceplate. I'm going to come in here and brush out the lint. I have not cleaned this in years, y'all. I'm just taking like a normal type of like paintbrush and coming in here, and I'm going to wipe out all the lint that I can see before. All right, I had to get the flashlight out in order to show you, in order to see myself. Do you see underneath that all of that lint building up? That is something that you definitely want to get out before you start oiling. Ooh, man, that is gross. So satisfying though. Getting all of this out. Oh gosh. Look at that amount of lint. Oh my goodness. Oh y'all, look at the amount of lint built up under that faceplate, and this is what is called the feed dogs right there. But can you see all of that lint in there? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is worse than I thought it. Oh my gosh. No wonder why. Just no wonder why. So many things. Look at that. It's coming out by chunks. Whew. Okay, so this, wow, that's like not even just dust. That's almost like matted is how it feels that was in there. Wow. Then reaching down in there and getting out these chunks of dust. So I will continue to do this, getting out all of this stuff before I even oil it. And I guess you probably should have done this first before the bottom. But since I did the bottom first, I'll come back in and look at, there's like dust that has been pushed out or down. And so now I feel like I need to come through here, kind of just be sure that all of that stuff is out before going on to the next step. It says to remove the bobbin case. Now the directions say to take these and to, I'm assuming, push them to the side. Oh, here. Okay. Well, that came out. Then it says to pull this out. Next step is I'm going to come in here, and again, I'm going to use this brush, first of all, to get as much lint out as possible. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but I can see that there's some lint up in here. Okay, some good globby lint that's still coming out. So just be sure to go all in here and get as much lint out with your brush as possible. Well, there's another, oh my gosh. This is answering so many questions that I had about the performance of my sewing machine. Just, ew. Now it is time to oil things, and oiling is just kind of like, you know, spreading a little bit of layer of some sewing machine oil on all of these parts. Now I got this, the Dritz, in the sewing section at Walmart, and what is great is that it comes with this huge tube, and that can go up and down. You can move it in and out, but it honestly really is great, like if you had to maneuver and put oil into a surface that you couldn't easily get to. Now for me, I'm just going to put some of this on a little bit of an old piece of t-shirt. I'm not going to be using a paper towel because paper towels have fiber and definitely don't want to result in extra fibers like that. So I'm just putting a few drops on a little piece of old t-shirt, and then let's take that wet part, just wipe down all of these components. Again, I hope I'm doing this correctly. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is just the dirt and dust that didn't get removed from the brush. Was not expecting this. Ooh-wee. So I wiped down this interior compartment, and then I'm putting this piece back in. And I'm just kind of pushing it in a little bit. Doesn't have to click or anything. Now this outer piece, you'll notice there's this tiny little knob on the bottom right there. And there's this tiny little notch right there. And so you just want to be sure that that little knob goes in that notch. And then pretty much you're just kind of, it's not going to click snap, but you're just placing it in place. And then you're going to put these levers back, and that is what is going to hold it down. Now to oil. I'm going to put a little, 1 or 2 drops right there. This is where the manual says to put it, right at the base of the bobbin case. And that's it. So now put the bobbin case back in without any thread, close it up, put the faceplate back on, screw that down. Then we're going to put the presser foot back on, put the sewing machine needle back in. That needle goes in with the flat part towards the back. Again, I do have a video all about taking out and reinserting the needle. I will link that below, but that should help you out. And again, that foot is just a matter of just putting it on and clicking it in place. Now turn the sewing machine around, and up here, this is where you're gonna have a screw. So go in there and undo that screw and remove this plate. Removing this screw from the back actually loosens up this plate in the front. And so, okay, kind of like slides out, I guess, because that was in there. All right, so now I'm seeing all of this. I'm going to refer to the diagram that I have as far as where to oil it. I'll show you where they say to oil it, but first I'm going to wipe off all of this with another damp cloth and get rid of any lint and dust that I see. Again, I'm referencing the manual. There are 5 points that they say to put the oil, so I'm going to assume that the points that I'm finding are the same. I do believe that is right there, right in here. It shows like the shaft right there, this one right there, and then this screw. So I will show you, I'm going to just put a drop or 2 on each of those. I was doing this very slowly because you don't want to over oil your machine. Also, it's just really hard for me to see what I'm doing while also filming. So I only put 1 drop on each of these locations. After I stopped filming, I went back in and put another drop for a total of 2 drops on each of the areas. But you don't want to use too much oil because then it will just keep coming out of your machine. All right, I can't tell you how awesome it is to use this with that spout that doesn't drip as you're trying to get it in these locations. Highly recommend that oil. Now, I'm going to put the faceplate back on and screw it in, and then we're going to run the machine. Now that everything is back in place, it's time to plug in your machine, turn it on. Now keep in mind, there is no thread, and there is no thread in the bobbin. And all you want to do is just run the machine, and you want to run it at a fast pace, not the slow and steady to do a straight stitch, but just literally pedal to the metal and at a fast pace to get the oil going through all of the stuff in there. doing that for about 30 seconds. Now, I would not be sewing any nice fabric after this. Like, you need to do a test run of fabric. Now is the time that you want to add some thread and you want to add the bobbin, and then just have like just some test fabric that you keep going through. I don't even know how many times, just to make sure that any of the oil that is in here and underneath doesn't transfer to the fabric that you're sewing with. So just keep that in mind. Don't sew anything fancy or heirloom or that you can't get oil on the fabric right after this. In general, I found that this was way less scary than I thought it was gonna be. And honestly, it's something that you can and probably should do routinely for maintenance. I know everybody says that, but I don't know how many people actually do it. And after knowing how easy it is, I wouldn't hesitate to do this more often. Hope this helps everybody. Bye.